Broadcasting from Manhattan Beach and the World Wide Web, you're listening to CHSR HealthyLife.net.
As a service to our listeners, this program is for general information and entertainment purposes only. CHSR HealthyLife.net does not recommend, endorse, or object to the views, products, or topics expressed or discussed by show hosts or their guests. We suggest you always consult with your own personal, medical, financial, or legal advisor.
Good afternoon, and welcome to Power Talk. I'm Jean Adrienne. I'm your host, and every week I bring you cutting-edge information from many sources to assist you as you make your choices and raise your vibration, because together we're creating a brand new reality, and boy, are we having fun now. I'm thrilled that you've chosen to join me here on Healthy Life Radio, and I commit to you that I'm going to bring forward information that's going to challenge you to grow. Plus, I'll provide you with power tools to use as you do. I invite you to visit my website, jeanadrienne.com, and while you're there, please remember to sign up for my newsletter if you haven't done so already, so that you can receive the link for the online version of my Inner Speak cards, which will enable you to clear away blocks that are holding you back in any or all areas of your life. They're very powerful, and you can use them every day. And if you don't like my newsletter, you can opt out at any time and still keep using those cards. And I am just really excited to share this with you. This week, I launched a new company. It's called Inner Resources. You know, I've got 30 years of success behind me in the corporate world, high-tech sales and marketing. And then in 2003, I started Inner Speak, which is my passion, you know, doing the coaching and healing work, but more from a spiritual, metaphysical standpoint. And Inner Speak went from just an idea to a six-figure business over those years. Not overnight, mind you, but through steady focus and the application of universal laws and established best practices. And I want to help you do the same, and that's what Inner Resources is all about. Because I've got a team that will assist me behind the scenes to help you do the things that you either don't want to do or don't know how to do, such as building your website, getting it up in front of the search engines and doing search engine optimization, doing social media for you, and all those kinds of things. And I help you really to design the business plan and figure out how to get your business launched and profitable. So the new website is www.innerresource, INNERESOURCE.com. So go check it out, and if you sign up there, you get 2 really juicy free gifts, plus you can take advantage of a free consultation with me to see how we might be able to assist you. But let's get right into today's show. Enough about me. So, unhealthy habits can keep you from reaching your potential, especially when it comes to money. So today we're going to talk about how you can disrupt patterns that feel automatic but are not serving you. And my guest, Veronica Torres, and the group that she channels, ELOHEIM, are going to share practical, fun ways to help you take control of your experience of life and shift your relationship with money and everything else into one of prosperity. A down-to-earth force of nature, Veronica Torres brings a deep commitment to conscious living, a powerful desire for clarity, and a great sense of humor to every situation. She's the producer of Wellbeing Expos, author of more than 20 books, and she served as network director of the holistic practitioners group Eclectic Health. Currently, though, her full attention is focused on working with ELOHEIM and the Council through a process called channeling. While channeling, Veronica is able to set her personality aside, which allows her non-physical guides to offer their teachings through her. Veronica and Eloheim offer private sessions, online broadcasts, public meetings, and retreats in the U.S. and abroad. Eloheim is best known for their multitude of practical, actionable tools which facilitate our movement from a fear-based existence as Homo sapiens to a consciousness-based living as Homo spiritus. Elohim's teachings are delivered with humor, love, and profound respect, and have gained a passionate worldwide following. And in a later segment of the show today, Veronica is actually going to go into channel and bring Elohim in, so you'll get to hear what they have to say for you. So welcome, Veronica.
Thank you so much for having me on the program.
Well, I'm really excited about it because I really love the fact that, channeling is available for all of us. We just have to tune into it, right?
Yes, I believe that everyone can communicate with their non-physical helpers. It's just that most people assume it needs to look the way it looks for the people like myself that they see on YouTube or hear on radio shows, which is that, that Elohim uses my body and my voice to share their message, whereas really communicating with your non-physical helpers can look so many ways.
Oh, yeah.
Day before yesterday, recently, I was talking to a couple, and they know that they're being communicated with by his grandfather, who has passed on, when they smell root beer.
Mm-hmm.
So, I know people who, when they ask a yes-no question to their non-physical helpers, they get a tap on one shoulder for yes and a tap on the other shoulder for no. So it can look a lot of ways, and over the years I've seen that be one of the barriers people have, is they say, well, I believe in channeling, but I don't channel the way you do, so I'm doing it wrong. And it's like, no. Let's see how you do it. Let's see what your unique way of communicating with your non-physical guides is.
There's that judgment stuff, and that really can get in the middle and hold us back every time, can it?
It certainly can. Elohim, in all the years that I've worked with them, has only given us one rule, and all this time, and that is you don't get to be mean to yourself.
Yeah.
If you wouldn't say it to the 4-year-old child of your best friend, you can't say it to yourself. And I think a lot of times we have these little hidden ways that we're mean to ourselves. And one of those could be, I can do automatic writing, or I can do tarot cards, or I can really get sense of non-physical people that have, passed over or died. But that's not how Veronica channels, so I'm doing it wrong. It's like, no. That's you being mean to yourself. Let's not have that. Let's celebrate the way you do it, and we all learn together.
For many years, I had a really close friend who was very intuitively gifted. She was clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant. She had it going on. And, I was always just so in awe of how, she knew when her guides were talking through her and, on, yada, yada. And so one day, I guess the first things that I started seeing were angels. And, so it was easy for me because I came from a Christian background, and that was safe. And, as I began to open up, I, began to trust the angels. And so I can remember I was driving down to Florida. One of my aunts had passed away, and I was going down with my brother for the funeral. And I kind of had set the intention, and I wanted Archangel Michael to show himself to me. And so, all day long, Archangel Michael, please just show yourself to me. I really want to see you. And this went on for the 3 days of the trip. We're driving back to Atlanta from Florida. My brother's driving my car, and my cousin was riding back with us. He's in the back seat, and the two of them are talking about military things because they're both ex-military, and I was bored stiff. And I guess my brother was going too slow because he was in the fast lane, and a transfer truck started to pass on the right. And it was like, and I'm looking out my window, and I see this red transfer truck, and as it, inched up, I noticed that in that area right behind where the driver sits, there's, they have a cab back there where they can sleep, was a beautiful painting. And it was Archangel Michael. And it said across it in gold letters, Archangel Michael, please protect our drivers. And I just kind of looked at it and was like, okay, that wasn't how I was expecting it to start off. But that just goes to show, when you are attached to an expectation of how something's going to look, you might miss a lot of different opportunities.
Yeah, preconceived notions is one of the core things that Elohim teaches about, because we show up with preconceived notions and deep habits in how we navigate our lives, and then we wonder why we experience so much limitation.
Right.
So it's when you can identify and then transform your relationship to your habits and to the impulse to be habitual that really, life starts to feel like you're wearing a jetpack and you start to really change things.
Exactly. Well, let's start off by talking about Elohim. So who exactly is or are Elohim?
Yeah. So Elohim I am part of the soul that is Elohim, right?
Okay.
So it doesn't take your entire soul to run a human body. It takes a very small smidgen of it, actually. So I'm the human part of Elohim, and Elohim is, a big deal in the sense that all of our souls are big deals. They're doing lots more than just helping us, but certainly they focus on it. They're also, the reason that they picked the name Elohim, I know that's a familiar term to a lot of people, and people have a lot of preconceived notions about what that means. But just as I have lots of friends named John, and they're not all the same person, not every entity that uses the name Elohim is the same. But the one that I work with and that I have worked with, all the stuff that they've taught through me is consistent within itself. Comparing that to another Elohim and what they teach may or may not go together. But anything that we're teaching together all goes with each other. So that's something that I always feel like it's important to clarify. So Elohim was tasked by the Creator to generate a free will zone where souls could come, incarnate into the physical, experience density and duality and amnesia as to their true selves. And that's our solar system here with Earth. So they picked the name Elohim when we started working together through channeling to indicate in the beginning, because they wanted to indicate that they had been here for a while.
So it is a they. It's not a single?
Well, the thing is there's the aspect of Elohim that's currently non-physical, and there's me, and we are the same in the sense. So there's already a they right there.
Okay.
And they're also doing lots of other stuff that we don't talk about all the time. So it feels plural is more accurate. So it's not necessarily a whole bunch of different personalities as much as it's many different expressions that come from the same root.
Yeah, I get that, and that's how it feels to me as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's also the thing of when I first started channeling, it felt really inappropriate and out of integrity to say I as I was channeling, since they weren't Veronica's words. Right. They were coming from a larger aspect of me, but certainly they weren't my words in the sense that I wanted to take any sort of ownership and like I came up with these great thoughts, So it felt less than honest to use the word I. And since we is a more accurate reflection of what's really going on, they've always spoken of themselves in the plural, and that feels better to me all the way around.
Yeah. I mean, my first experience with channeling, and I didn't know anything about channeling, and I didn't know that I was one, was when I received my work, Interspeak, and it came in through a group of angels who, or entities or beings or whatever, who just wanted to be known as the group. Because they said, you humans are way too hung up on names and that kind of thing, and it's just, there's a bunch of us here, and, and this is your job, if you choose to accept it, is to bring in this healing modality. And, so that's what I did. And I didn't even know enough to ask who they were or if they were of the light, But all I knew was that I've never felt so much love as when I was sitting in front of the computer and typing and receiving that information. I mean, I would just sit there, and it was like being in a love bath. And when it was all done and they finally showed me what I had and how to use it, I was like, but, now what am I going to do? I'm never going to hear from you again. Of course I do, but, I didn't know. I had no clue. So how did you meet Elohim?
Well, some years ago, about, pushing 20 years ago, I guess now, I was married. I was in a very difficult marriage, and I went to a psychic to try to get some information about how to make my marriage better, and he didn't talk about my marriage. He talked about the fact that I was going to become a channel, and I was going to be known around the world. And I said, I don't care about that. What I care about is fixing my marriage. It's very difficult, and I want help with it. And he said, well, that's what you get. So I just parked that information because it wasn't something that I was, I knew about channeling, but I wasn't going to pursue that right away. I had too many other things going on.
Right.
And so a few years later, I had just moved to a new town, to Sonoma, which is where I live now in California, about 40 minutes north of San Francisco. And, I wanted to meet people. So I went to a yoga class, and the people in the yoga class said, we're going to do a Lakshmi Puja at the end of the week. Do you want to come? I didn't know what the heck they were talking about. I had no clue. But, I wanted friends, and I figured, well, we're going to puja. That's what people do around here. So that's what I'm doing.
Whatever that is, right?
Yeah, so I went to this thing, and it turns out it's a chant. And it's in Sanskrit, I believe, and so it sounds a lot like yang, 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 you know, it just went on and on and on, and it was very monotonous, but profound in the sense that I got super altered. And at the end of it, we sat down in a circle. There were, I think, 5 of us there, and all of a sudden, this voice came out of my mouth, and it gave a message to this person sitting across from me. And about 5 minutes into it, it said, okay, we are the Elohim, and we are pleased to have been with you today. At which point, I burst into tears because I thought, I don't want everybody looking at me. I felt super conspicuous, and it didn't scare me. I knew exactly what had happened. The message was well received and very helpful to the person, but I didn't like being looked at. So I said, forget it, I'm not doing that. So a little while later, maybe a year and a half, 2 years later, a friend of mine called me up, and she said, okay, so this guy at work just told me my biorhythms are off. Do you know anything about biorhythms? And I'm like, well, I don't know anything about biorhythms, but I know about chakras. So why don't you come over, I'll look at your chakras, and we'll see if, you know, I can figure out what's going on that he's picking up on. So that started us having a lot of conversations about metaphysical topics of all types. And, you know, a few weeks into that, finally I just said, well, there's this channeling thing that some dude predicted I'd be able to do. And she's like, let's do that. So we literally sat down on my deck, and I said, I don't know how to do this, but I'm going to do it. And I closed my eyes, and Elohim's voice came out of my mouth and gave my friend a message that about a member of her family that I didn't even know existed. She asked about a guy's name. That's it. And it turned out she had a brother that she had never told me about because he was troubled, and Elohim helped her with the troubled brother that I didn't even know existed. So we just got started every week. We'd write down questions, and at the weekend we'd get together and channel Elohim and get answers to them. And after about 3 months, Elohim said, great, now get a group together. And so I started getting a group together, and that's my public channeling career started in September of 2002. And here I am, talking to you.
There you go. How cool is that?
Yeah.
I love it. So, you know, Elohim, I mean, you've got so many books, and I've only read 2 of them, but they're just chock full of practical solutions and tools. I mean, you know, and I'm all about tools. That Elohim has given to you and to some of the people that you've channeled for. And one of the books that I read had to do with money, and so that's kind of what I really wanted to focus on, because there are a lot of people that are listening to this show that are concerned about money, and I would warrant that they perhaps have unhealthy relationships with money, and that's why they're concerned. So I was just wondering, you know, how does Elohim offer practical solutions? And secondly, what suggestions do they have for people who don't have a healthy relationship with money?
Yeah. Well, what Elohim's extraordinarily good at is reading the underlying energetics in any situation. So someone comes and they start telling a story, and Elohim's able to see where underneath the story what's actually driving the process that they're experiencing. And so a lot of times people will tell 3 different stories, and Elohim can find a similar energetic in all those stories, and then they give us a tool to change that energetic, and then it propagates out and changes the relationships they're having in all those different situations. It's really very cool. And they do this all the time. They just come up with new ones all the time. I've documented about 60 of them, and there's probably at least 50 more that I haven't gotten around to writing a book about yet, that they come up with. When we had a session last night, they come up with them during the sessions, because they just say, oh, yeah, this is what's going on for you. Do this. Try this. And it's so wonderful. It really is so wonderful. And one of my favorite tools they have about money is called the Money on the Counter tool. And what this is you take a piece of money, a bill, whatever country you're in, take something, here in America, maybe we would use a $20 bill, right? Okay. And you put the $20 bill someplace that you have to see it a lot. So on the bathroom sink, maybe on your desk or your dresser, or on your kitchen counter, someplace where you're going to have to interact with it. And then as you come across it, see what comes up in you as you experience that money just sitting there. You know, some people will get so paranoid that someone's going to break in and steal their 20 that's being unattended. Or some people get really worked up because they think that they're being snooty by leaving money laying around when it could be doing some good for somebody else. Or some people just think money's dirty and can't imagine leaving it near food. So it's really super powerful to do the money on the counter tool to see how you actually feel about money. Because a lot of times we just have our feelings about money run sort of underneath under the current, of our awareness. And then once you've done it with a 20, maybe try it with 100. And then once you've tried it with a larger amount, see if you can get your hands on some money from another country. And even though that money has an equivalent amount in your currency, you'll have different feelings toward it most likely because it looks different and it doesn't have as much habit installed in it.
Right.
So money on the counter is a fun way to find out how you actually feel about money and to unearth the equal signs that are hiding from you.
Interesting. Money's just energy, and I think that's one of the things that most people don't get is that, in and of itself, it's a piece of paper. And really what it is energy, and energy flows, and I think people end up blocking that flow because of those unhealthy old beliefs or patterns or even maybe projections from other people. I think we tend to get caught up a lot of times in other people's belief systems around money, and that can throw us out of alignment with, like, the law of attraction, so that we can't receive. But you know what? It's time for us to take our first commercial break. So we're going to talk more about Elohim. We're going to talk to Elohim, and if you are interested in getting a healthier relationship in every area of your life, stick with us because we're going to be right back.
InnerSpeak Breakthrough Coaching just might be the career move you need to make. You'll be able to help people reach their full life potential and recognize a livable income for you and your family. InnerSpeak Breakthrough Coaching gives you all the tools, education, and one-on-one that you'll need to become a certified InnerSpeak Breakthrough Coach. It even gives you business acceleration tactics to help you kickstart your business. Start now by calling 404-934-0714. That's 404-934-0714. Visit JeanAdrienne.com.
If you've ever felt stuck, fed up with the repeating behaviors that sabotage your own success in any area of your life, career, love, money, or health, let Jean Adrienne show you how to find your passion again and clear the blocks that are holding you back. Learn more about Jean's breakthrough coaching at www.JeanAdrienne.com. She's helped thousands of people get their lives back on track. It's your turn. Contact her now.
Stop the insanity. You can easily help clear the blocks that are standing in your way of a successful relationship, a great career, and even optimal health. The secret is Jean Adrienne, and she can help you get amazing results with an individual InnerSpeak session via phone or Skype, right from the comfort of your home. Clear old programming, erase painful childhood memories, and stand in your own power. Sometimes it takes just one InnerSpeak individual session. Call Jean Adrienne now at 404-934-0714. That's 404-934-0714. Visit JeanAdrienne.com.
Okay, you're stressed. You need a little R&R. Wouldn't going to a spa help? There's all kinds of spas, too. Destination spas, medical spas, day spas, even dental and mobile spas. Where do you find the right spa at the right price? Oh, no, more stress? Well, not anymore. Visit SpaFinders.com. At SpaFinders.com, you'll find everything you need to know about spas from around the world. So de-stress. Click on SpaFinders.com right on our homepage. Ah, I'm feeling relaxed already.
Radio your way. HealthyLife.net.
Welcome back. This is Power Talk. I'm your host, Jean Adrienne, and today I'm speaking with Veronica Torres. Veronica has written over 20 books, and she channels Elohim and the Council, and she gets, wonderful tools for shifting energy through her channeling, and she has shared those in her books, and she also shares them in private sessions. If you're interested in finding out more about Veronica and her work, her website is ELOHEIM.com, and that's spelled ELOHEIM. And before the break, we were talking about, I read one of her books called The Money Book, and it's actually on special right now. If you go on her website, Elohim.com, you can actually get this book, the ebook version, for $2.99. And I promise you, you will get tools that will assist you financially in a big way. She's also got another special that she's offering today as well, and it's a private session with her channeling Elohim, and it's $75 for a 25-minute live channel with Veronica and Elohim. So, we were talking before the break about how we can get caught up in mass consciousness, and it can really skew how we think about money or anything else in our life. Does Elohim offer any suggestions about how we can separate ourselves from mass consciousness and, really stay in our own true self?
Yeah, they talk a lot about learning to live from the current version of you and dealing with the ERS. Now, the ERS is authority figures, and because mother, father, teacher, preacher, all these words that we have for various authority figures tend to end in ER, Elohim just calls them all the ERS. And they say, are you hearing the voice of the ERS right now, or are you hearing your own truth? So let's say, go back to our money example, since that's the one we're using today. If you put a $20 bill, or let's say a $100 bill, on your kitchen counter, and you're walking from another part of the house through the kitchen, and you see that there, and you have that instantaneous reaction of, oh, who left that dirty money on the counter? In that moment, is that your mom or your dad? Or is that you? Do you really think that money's dirty? Or is that something you were taught? Where does that voice come from? And a lot of times, the voices of the ERS are really strong in us without us knowing it. And so one of the ways to break through that is to use the What is True Now tool. The What is True Now tool is one of the most useful in all kinds of situations that Elohim has ever given us. They've told us if they only ever gave us one tool, it would have been What is True Now. And the key with the What is True Now tool is you just answer it 5 or 7 times very quickly with whatever's in front of you. So, what is true now? I'm wearing black pants. What is true now? I'm sitting down. What is true now? The cat is on my lap. What is true now? I'm on the phone doing an interview, right? And what happens is when you answer those questions very quickly, and not with esoteric answers, with I'm holding a pen kind of answers, it takes you out of that hamster wheel mind. It has to quiet the voice of the because you're asking what's happening to you. It brings you into the moment, and it connects you with your body, just like that. And then there's this quiet moment that you can actually see what your truth is. And maybe your truth is, I'm so grateful for that $100 bill that's on my kitchen counter. I'm so grateful that I have that income sitting there, that resource. I don't care if it's supposedly dirty or clean. That's not the part of it that's loud in me. The part that's loud in me is my gratitude that it exists in my house. Or maybe there's another message there. But knowing what it is so important, and finding out what it is right now is so important, rather than what it is because that's the way you were raised.
Yeah, I can't imagine either of my parents ever actually having a $100 bill. I mean, 20's a lot. I mean, we weren't poor, but I don't remember ever seeing a $100 bill growing up. But one of the things that I do, it's one of my little games around money, is I always have in my wallet a $100 bill. And I rarely spend it, but periodically I will. And then I'll go get another one, so that I always have a $100 bill in my wallet. because to me it's just kind of it's a focus on prosperity. You know, so I mean, but each of us, you know.
Everybody has their own thing, right? Because I know some people who hate having a $100 bill because they feel like it's hard to spend. So they rather have a bunch of tens than $100 bill. So they actually have judgment against $100 bills.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing to know. It's a good thing to know if someone pays you with a $100 bill, if that makes you cringe because you think, oh, God, now I'm going to have to go to the bank to break that to feel comfortable, that energetic is just good to be aware of. Not even that it's right or wrong, just awareness is, you know, Elohim says catching yourself is 90% of the healing. Catching yourself, wow, look at that, I had a judgment about that $100 bill, and I wonder why I block abundance in my life. Well, I have real strong opinions about money that maybe aren't really supporting my growth at this time.
Yeah, I mean, and I have some strange things about money. I mean, I'm a little bit OCD, but, you know, I always have to make sure that my money is lined up, all facing in the right direction, from the smallest bill back up to the 100. You know, and that's crazy, but...
I think it's cute how you said, in the right direction. You didn't say in the same direction, you said in the right direction.
They're all facing forward so they can multiply like little rabbits.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, and so it's good to know, right? But the underlying drive there, is the underlying drive there a control? Is the underlying drive there because you feel it plays into law of attraction? You know, knowing the underlying drive is very powerful in that moment, because if it's something that's a limiting underlying drive, then it might be good to just wad your money up and stick it in a Ziploc bag in your purse to see what that does for you. Right? You want to know what the underlying drive to these patterns is.
Once upon a time, I thought it was going to be smart if I took all of my extra cash and put it in a Ziploc bag and put it in the freezer. Guess what that did? It froze my inflow.
I don't even know what happens if you freeze money. What happens?
It froze my inflow. Money stopped coming to me.
Interesting.
Yeah. And I don't know if that was just in my head or, you know, or not, but, you know, I took that out of there. That's the end of that. Well, I got another question for you. Many of the listeners to the show are people who are either involved in spirituality or the healing arts.
Okay.
And sometimes they have issues around charging for their work.
Yeah.
What kind of advice does Elohim have for them?
Yeah. What's really interesting is, you know, if you went down and got a job as a waitress or a secretary or at the gas station, you wouldn't have trouble charging for your time, because those things, it's really socially acceptable. Those people get paid. Somehow there's this notion that because you're doing, you know, good work or supportive work or healing work, all of that in big quote marks, that somehow that means that you should exist off of air. And when Elohim talks about this, they're really hilarious, because they just look at the group and say, where did that come from? And a lot of times it comes out of what Elohim calls alternate expressions, which is their word language for the idea of past lives. Because, you know, they're all happening simultaneously, so they like to express it in alternate expressions. And a lot of times light workers or healing people have a lot of alternate expressions where they were nuns and priests and monks in various ways have been in religious service.
And in a lot of poverty.
A lot of your alternate expressions, when you started to be in a place of offering your healing, offering your counseling, offering your connection to God, you were also in a vow of poverty situation. Or, you know, the stuff of life was looked down upon in many, many ways. So sometimes you get what we call alternate expression bleed through, where it's actually not you that has the issue with having money and maybe having some nice things and maybe being able to go on a vacation every once in a while and being valued with in exchange for your time for income that supports those things. It's actually you're getting this bleed through where you get this heavy trip from these alternate expressions that are saying, no, to be godly, you must be impoverished. So there's always the alternate expression bleed through, but there's also just the people who give you the head trip. I mean, I got beginning saying, you know, you're wrong for charging. And I'm like, I like to eat. Do you want me being a secretary instead, or would you like help from Elohim? We got to pick, because I need to eat.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just that simple. And then the other thing that I've also found is that when people do not charge for their work, the people that they work with don't value it. If they don't value themselves enough to charge, then their clients don't value the work, and they don't get the benefit that they could do if everybody was holding the same value for the work being, given. So that's just an interesting aside. But anyway, it's time for us to take another break. So listeners, I am speaking today with Veronica Torres. You can find out a lot more about her on her website, ELOHEIM.com, ELOHEIM.com. And we've been talking a lot about information that I gleaned from her money book, and that's available as a $2.99 special download, the ebook version. So go check out her website. Stick with us. We'll be right back.
Stop the insanity. You can easily help clear the blocks that are standing in your way of a successful relationship, a great career, and even optimal health. The secret is Jean Adrienne, and she can help you get amazing results with an individual InnerSpeak session via phone or Skype, right from the comfort of your home. Clear old programming, erase painful childhood memories, and stand in your own power. Sometimes it takes just one InnerSpeak individual session. Call Jean Adrienne now at 404-934-0714. That's 404-934-0714. Visit JeanAdrienne.com.
For all your live or pre-recorded webcasting needs, come to earthchannel.com. Get your web-based message out to a select group or the whole world. It's easy. A pioneer in webcasting, earthchannel.com provides the best products and services to big corporations and government users. And now this same technology is available to you. They have the best Earthcast encoders, servers, and products to meet your technical needs. But wait, don't want to mess with technical stress? No problem. They'll do it for you. EarthChannel.com is your answer. You can use webcasting for lots of things like advertising, marketing, customer support, training, and don't forget web radio and TV. In fact, you're listening to a live Earthcast right now. So come to EarthChannel.com. Actualize your audio or video webcasting needs today. You can't beat the friendly service or the price. Call earthchannel.com at 1-800-849-8978. That's 1-800-849-8978.
If you've ever felt stuck, fed up with the repeating behaviors that sabotage your own success in any area of your life, career, love, money, or health, let Jean Adrienne show you how to find your passion again and clear the blocks that are holding you back. Learn more about Jean's breakthrough coaching at www.jeanadrienne.com. She's helped thousands of people get their lives back on track. It's your turn. Contact her now.
HealthyLife.net, where positive overcomes negative.
Welcome back to Power Talk. I'm Jean Adrienne, and today I am speaking with the delightful Veronica Torres. We're talking about all manner of stuff, but mostly how to live a life of prosperity and be in your truth as who you really are. And it's a lot of advice that came from this unseen being that she channels called Elohim. And I was just wondering, Veronica, would it be possible for you to go into channel and bring Elohim in?
Sure. Give me just a moment to round them up. They won't be far away. They like doing interviews, so I'm sure they're close. Hang on. Just take a second. Yes. Well, hello.
Hello.
It's raining.
It's raining?
It's raining. It's a rainy day. That's nice.
Okay.
Where Veronica lives, they've had drought, so it's always, you have to exclaim when rain is happening. It's a requirement, it seems.
Coming from heaven.
It's like, let's have an exclamation about the weather to start off the day. Hello.
Hello.
How can we help you today?
Well, we're in interesting times right now, Elohim, and there are a lot of people who are concerned and some even actually in fear about the changes that are taking place on the world from a political standpoint, from a standpoint of, the different people who are trying to step into their power and the unrest that seems to be stemming from the Middle East and things like that. Can you talk about that and how what's really happening and how people can stay positive and create a happy reality rather than one that's fear-based?
Well, one of the things you have to keep in mind is that because you now have the Internet, you know about things that have been going on all the time that you've been alive. You just didn't know about them before. Right. So just like you get to see way more pictures of animals giving birth because you have Facebook, that you've never seen that elephant give birth if you didn't have Facebook. Now you've seen it 3 times. You have the opportunity now to know about other things that are more of disruption, right? More wars, more poverty, more sad things. Absolutely. And also lots more positive things as well that never get covered on the nightly news and certainly never make the newspapers. So sometimes we just want people to just take a moment to realize that it's not that life is so much worse than it ever was before. It's that you're just getting a broader spectrum of news about what's going on in this world. And that we think is really, really important because humans tend, because of the survival instinct, you tend to share the scary with each other first. Mm-hmm. You tend to say, watch out for those berries because they make you sick if you eat them. Be careful with the water from this creek because it's not good for you. Way before you say, be sure to eat this, it tastes really yummy. And that's just the way you guys are built. So when the news comes out and there's news that says this, that, and the other things going on and it's difficult, bad, or wrong, you tend to fixate on that more than the good news or the news that feels supportive of your growth. It's just a habit, and it needs to be noticed so that you don't fixate on only the things that are going on that are difficult, because we'll tell you, there's never been a time on your planet, ever, 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 that there's been actually as much what we call high vibration or conscious living going on. You've got more people really striving to live consciously, to care about their neighbors, to really know why they do what they do, to break habits, and to move forward than you've ever had before. And you have more news outlets that know that pandering to the lowest common denominator and talking about scary things will get them clicks and views. So it's not that you are living in a time that's at the worst time. You're living in the best time with the most news. That's really what's going on.
Yeah, and and I would agree with that, and that feels right to me. And yet, I have managed to manifest in my reality a relationship where my boyfriend is all about watching the news and talking about, now we're going to have all this influx from Syria and the economy is going to tank and all that. And I'm wondering, okay, what is it about me that he's mirroring to me? Is there some underlying fear that that I'm dealing with here that's being mirrored to me by someone outside of myself?
Sure, because everyone has a survival instinct, so it's really easy to make people afraid. And everyone out there is fixing their fears the best way they know how. And whereas you would fix your fear about any of those topics by asking us a question about it, perhaps he's fixing his fear by venting. But the reality is both of you are just fixing your fears in the way that feels most reasonable to you. However, it doesn't seem like him fixing his fears in that fashion is really supportive to your relationship.
No.
So it may be time for you to really work on boundaries.
Yeah.
You're allowed to say, honey, I get it. I really do value you in my life, but the way you're fixing your fears just is making it worse for me. We need to have some guidelines around how often or how much or how we go about talking about this fear that you have.
That's brilliant. I had never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
But boundaries is one of the things that I came in here in this lifetime to learn about.
We talk a lot about boundaries and how you need to set boundaries early and often. Because what happens, especially with women, men too, but, it's true that we see this with women more often, is that women imagine they have to get really, 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 really angry before they're supposed to set a boundary. And so if you think you have to get really angry before you set a boundary, one, you're going to be less likely to do it, and two, you're going to be less likely to reinforce it. And three, you're going to feel like awful once you've done it. So if you set a boundary early, you can do it before you have to get really worked up and angry. To be this big hooty-dooty.
Wow.
Right? You just say, hon, you know what? Tonight we're just going to have a no Syria night.
There you go. I love that.
And then if he says, but, you can say, I know you're concerned, but we also need to make sure we're connecting, not just being concerned together.
Beautiful.
Now is connecting time.
So much.
You're welcome.
Perfect. And really appreciate you coming in and visiting with us. And listeners, it is time for us to take our third commercial break. So we're going to have more about and from Elohim when we come back. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
If you've ever fed up with the repeating behaviors that sabotage your own success in any area of your life, career, love, or health, let Jean Adrienne show you how to find your passion again and clear the blocks that are holding you back. Learn more about Jean's breakthrough coaching at www.jeanadrienne.com. Thousands of people get their lives back on track. It's your turn. Contact her now.
Stop the insanity. You can easily help clear the blocks that are standing in your way of a successful relationship, a great career, and even optimal health. The secret is Jean Adrienne, and she can help you get amazing results with an individual Inner Speak session via phone or Skype, right from the comfort of your home. Clear old programming, erase painful childhood memories, and stand in your own power. Sometimes it takes just one Inner Speak individual session. Call Jean Adrienne now at 404-934-0714. That's 404-934-0714. Visit JeanAdrienne.com.
Shh! Over here. Here's a secret for a virus-free computer. ESET. They've been a pioneer in the antivirus industry for over 25 years. 25 years of innovative, top-rated antivirus protection. ESET's award-winning security solutions provide a safe online experience for over 100 million home and business computer owners. They are so affordable, fast, and simple to use. So be gone, you blue screen of death. ESET's on my computer. If it's not on yours, visit HealthyLife.net's advertiser page and click on ESET now.
Inner Speak Breakthrough Coaching just might be the career move you need to make. You'll be able to help people reach their full life potential and recognize a livable income for you and your family. Inner Speak Breakthrough Coaching gives you all the tools, education, and one-on-one private sessions that you'll need to become a certified Inner Speak Breakthrough Coach. It even gives you business acceleration tactics to help you kickstart your business. Start now by calling 404-934-0714. That's 404-934-0714. Visit JeanAdrienne.com.
HealthyLife.net, where positive overcomes negative.
Welcome back to Power Tools. I'm Jean Adrienne, speaking today with Veronica Torres, and we are talking about practical tools from Elohim to help you get the most out of your life, to be who you really are, and to be living in prosperity rather than in lack. Her website is Eloheim.com, ELOHEIM.com, and she's got two specials. You can download the ebook version of her money book for $2.99. She also has a private session special. You can get 25 minutes of channeling with Elohim for $75. It's a great deal, so click on in there and take advantage of it. And, you know, I really want to close the show out today with some more of the practical tools from Elohim. And one that I just loved from the money book was the money mantra. So can you kind of talk about that and what it is and how it can help us to move more into prosperity?
Sure. The money mantra is, I am in financial flow and money comes to me in infinite ways. And the key word in there is infinite. Sometimes people get fixated on how, when really the interesting thing to be concentrating on is how many. And Veronica, and we believe you, are self-employed, so there's lots of different ways that maybe are very obvious. Someone might say, well, I get a paycheck twice a month and that's it. Well, actually, that's not true, because there's always money in the couch and money in the washing machine and money you find as you're walking down the street. So it's really an interesting way to say, what happens when I think about money coming to me in infinite ways? What blocks do I throw up? What doubts do I throw up? And what happens when I see money that's found money? What is my relationship to found money? Because sometimes people have a really strange relationship to found money. So most all of our money work is really finding the underlying connection you have with the ideas of abundance. You have issues about abundance? You don't think you're abundant? Look out the window. How many blades of grass are out there? How many leaves are on the tree? People sometimes imagine abundance is only about their bank account, and nothing could be further from the truth. Abundance has so much to do with how you interact with your whole world. So, those are two things people can definitely work on today.
Absolutely. And what are some of the other tools that might be brilliant takeaways for listeners who are tuned in with us now?
Well, one we always love to share with people when we meet in this kind of an environment is the I'm Tempted To tool, because it's just such a hot knife through warm butter kind of tool. And that tool is basically when you find yourself in a reactionary state, a triggered state. Let's say you're mad. We always talk about spilling the orange juice. You spill the orange juice and you're mad about spilling the orange juice. Just put the words I'm tempted to in front of that default behavior. I'm tempted to be mad about the orange juice having spilled. And what that does, it's so powerful, because what it does is it actually requires you to use a different part of your brain to process the spilled orange juice than you were habitually defaulting to when the orange juice spilled. So if you go around just catching yourself and saying, I'm tempted to, in that moment, you will be surprised at how quickly that can change your relationship to things that have felt like they happen automatically. Because nothing really does happen automatically. Your reactions can be very quick, but they're always a choice. And so the way you create your reality is by choosing your reactions to the experiences you're having. I'm tempted to reinforces that this is a choice. I'm tempted to be angry about the orange juice. What is my choice? Well, maybe I'm just happy that I get to clean up the kitchen floor real nice like. Who knows?
Wow. I love that, and I think that what I'm going to do when we get off the air is I'm going to take a pad of Post-it notes, and I'm just going to write, I am tempted to, and stick that little phrase, I am tempted to ... and stick that little phrase on the bathroom mirror, the refrigerator, the dashboard of my car, my journal, all over, so that I constantly am reminded to use that tool anytime I might have gone into a default negative behavior.
Yeah.
It's
amazing. You'll love it.
Yeah.
You'll love it. It is absolutely life-changing. Another one that changes things really fast is what we call making I statements. People tend to speak in you and we. So they'll say things like, when you go to the store and you're standing in line and you feel really impatient, when they mean, when I go to the store and I stand in line, I feel really impatient. But they say you. So if you stop doing that and you say I when you mean I, does that wake you up? That will wake you up to what your real feelings are. Because when people do you, they're tending to disperse their feelings by sort of spreading them around a little bit instead of owning them and seeing how they actually feel.
Cool. So,
yeah, I statements is another one that will rock your socks, because all you have to do is pay attention to any sort of TV show or radio show or anything, really, and see how often people don't say I when they mean I.
Right. Well, and a lot of times we tend to, in an argument, project you, and it's really our stuff.
Yeah.
Wow.
And so right then you just did it. Well, you're on the radio, so we know why you did it. But if you just for an example, instead of saying sometimes we, when in an argument, if you just said sometimes when I'm in an argument, See how it changes the energy of the conversation? It changes it. It changes it. So it's a fun thing to practice. And what we actually heard from a member of our community. She went to a big presentation, and the people were saying we statements so much she left because it was uncomfortable. Because the person's speaking for the group when they say we, speaking for the group when they say you, instead of speaking for themselves. And sometimes people will say to us, you know, when you go to, and we're like, no, we don't do that. Are you speaking about your own truth, or are you trying to tell us what our truth is? That wakes people up to this one. It's important.
Do you have a frog in your pocket?
Yeah. That's just a quick one, right? We know we're running out of time, so that's just a quick one. But boy, you can have fun with that one. Boy, you can, and it'll change your life. That one alone will change your life. I'm tempted to I statements. What is true now? Life changing. Absolutely life-changing.
And you talk about fascination, integration, emanation, and magnetism. What's that all about?
Yeah, so when, it's either fear or fascination. You're either going to go into, oh, God, I'm afraid of this, or, wow, I'm fascinated by this, right?
Oh, yeah.
I'm fascinated by it. And then you integrate what you see in that fascination. You integrate it into your life. I'm fascinated by the fact that if I say I statements, it changes how I feel about the conversation I'm in. Then you integrate, wow, I'm a different person when I say I statements. And then your emanation is, it goes out of you, either energetically or when you speak, you start to say I statements. And then you magnetize people that want to be around people who own their own truth rather than projecting their fears on other people. You magnetize people to you.
I love it. Wow. Well, you have given us, both of you, Elohim and Veronica, have given us so many wonderful practical tools that we can take away from today's show. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. You're very, very welcome. And if folks want to work with us some more, call up and have a private session or come to one of our group events or come on Facebook. We have a group on Facebook called Connect with Elohim, and Veronica posts in there all the time. So come and hang out with us there, too.
Fantastic. And that website, again, is Eloheim, ELOHEIM.com. And listeners, join me next week when my guest is going to be the amazing Dee Wallace. She is one of my dearest friends, and she's just such a powerful healer. She's going to offer readings for everyone who calls in. So get ready, call in early so that you can make sure you get in the hour. Dee's work is fast and powerful. Don't forget to check out my new website, InnerResource.com. Sign up and get your free gifts and your consultation. And also JeanAdrienne.com. Sign up and get your free subscription to the Inner Speak cards. And until next week, remember, people who take responsibility for their lives create the reality they desire. Ciao.